Financial disclaimer. Velt Impera is not a financial advisor. Cryptocurrency trading and investing involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Only invest what you can afford to lose. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Always conduct your own research and consult a qualified financial professional before making any investment decisions.
How's everybody doing? Welcome to the Velt Impera presentation. My name is Steven Kasyanenko, and we're going to go through this extraordinary opportunity. It's going to take about 25-30 minutes. Again, if you have questions, drop them in the chat for me. So I'm going to get right to it. For me, I don't know where you're at, but greetings from wherever you are in the world. Let's get right to it. So welcome to Velt Impera, friends, and it's a decentralized financial ecosystem. Don't be afraid of the fancy terminology. Let me translate this to you in plain English. It means experience total financial freedom, right? So if I translate the next generation decentralized financial ecosystem, think about freedom, and we're going to talk about that. Keep that in the back of your head. This is really about freedom. So again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and to give financial advice, I would have to be licensed, which I'm not, and I would have to know your personal financial situation, which of course I do not. So we want you to go do your own research, right? We're going to give you the links. We're going to have some links for you to click on, and make sure everything I'm saying is correct. Don't take my word for it, right? You just met me. Well, many of you haven't, but don't take my word for it, right? So we want you to know the risks that are involved, but we're going to show an incredible opportunity for you. And this is, let's start with an executive summary. The Velt Impera is a fully integrated DeFi, that's decentralized finance ecosystem built on a BNB smart chain. And it offers a utility of traditional bank, meaning payments, asset management, yield, powered by smart contracts. So what does that mean, right? Let me translate that again. What that means is we have a parallel system like you would a bank, where you have a savings, a checking, you could do loans, there's equities, commodities, and you can move money, except there's a lot of differences in what we've built, and we're going to talk about that. The first thing you need to know is that this system is already running. I'm not dreaming about someday in the sweet by and by, This is already here. We have 4 live, fully operational ecosystems on this financial engine we're going to talk about. We have over 100,000 participants scattered through the 4 fully operational ecosystems. And we are 100% audited. We are 100% transparent and certified. And we're going to show you where you can confirm that. Again, don't take my word for it. We're a global digital payment processor. So whether you realize it or not, no matter what country you live in, your currency, it's all digital in the back. Everything from your phone, from your bank, it's just digital numbers. And so if you see 10,000, let's say, pounds in your savings account, it's just a digital number. There's no one in London, standing guard over your 10,000 pounds, making sure it doesn't collect dust, right? There's nobody there. Why? Because there's no money there. There's nothing there. I think they have boxes and files or something. The other thing is that we have an institutional grade AI that kind of runs the whole system. And don't be afraid of that. That's actually very comforting to know that there is no human behind the switch, right? Like, you wouldn't want me having the power to just move company money around. Trust me, you wouldn't even want Amir to do that. And he's an IDF major out of Tel Aviv. You don't even want that guy to run it, right? Or even Pastor Jiva from Toronto. As sweet as this man is, you want to have control. And this is what I'm talking about, total freedom. So we have real world assets that are tokenized, like real estate, gold. We're going to get into that. but we also have a real robust ecosystem. So think of what I mean by ecosystem. If you've ever flown, I've used to fly a lot, like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of miles every single year. I primarily used United Airlines, and they gave me airline miles. You familiar with that? Airline miles. You get
Right.
points.
Yeah.
You fly. They give you these airline mile points,
Get
and
hotels, discounts, all kinds of
so
stuff.
it used to be that all I could do with those air mile points was upgrade my seat to first class or
Right.
business class. But United did something very interesting, like all airlines do now. They said, well, what if they can redeem those airline points and use them not just for upgrading seats, but what if they were able to buy food, buy phones, buy headsets, buy books? What if they were just able to use it like real money? And that's what we're going to talk about is an entire ecosystem that is using a digital currency. And we're going to talk about that. So the reality is, I know this may be, if you're not familiar with like Bitcoin or crypto or blockchain, this may be a little scary for you. And certainly the press and the media has really demonized cryptocurrency and Bitcoin when actually it's the most transparent thing on the planet. And here's the truth, friends. When you have people like Jamie Dimon, Larry Fink, and Jonathan Steinberg, these are the guys that run the planet. If you don't know who they are, they're the CEOs of the largest financial institutions in the world, and they run the planet. That's just what I'm going to say. They're all saying, look, everything is going to be digitized. So, what do I mean by that? Well, you can have a digital version of everything. Um, so, imagine instead of a company, or imagine you have, like, I live on a farm. Imagine if I have this piece of land and I want to sow some corn in there. But you guys are like, hey, Steve, we think corn's a great investment, but we can't afford $1 million to get this piece of property, but we'd like to participate. Well, what I would do is I would just imagine like a digital picture and cut it up into 1,000 pieces and say, okay, I can take on 1,000 people that can
Yep.
own this part of the land. And it's a digital format. And when I harvest the corn, we all split the profits from that based on the sliver you got, like a share. And that's really what is happening. Everything
There's
is
already, by the way, it's funny that you say that. There's already games out there, online games that do something similar to what you just said that I've spoke with physically. So it's amazing. That's the whole idea of
yep,
tokenizing. It helps the farmer out there, or the agriculture, or the real estate, or the whatever it is, just much more efficient.
it's much more efficient. It's faster. The reason these are the
Cheaper.
most conservative financial institutions on the planet, right? These guys, they're very careful about what steps they take. They're typically slower because they're very conservative, and they are all using blockchain already. And the reason for that is because it's faster, it's safer, and it's transparent.
And
So
it's cheaper,
it is cheaper.
much cheaper.
So what what's going on? So right now we're the middle column. This is where most people sit, traditional banking, and you may think that you own the money in your bank. Uh, you do maybe in theory, but in reality, the bank holds your money and they decide where you could send it, who you can give it to, how much you could send. They also have certain hours that you're allowed to send your own
Right,
money. And
right.
basically, you're giving them your money and you're paying them to hold your money. And then they charge you a fee or a percentage to access your money. And if they don't like the person or company or charity you're supporting with your money, they will stop your transactions for your safety. And the truth is, traditional banking institutions take sometimes weeks for approval in international transfers. we in the Netherlands have a young lady, a young couple that has 25,000 euros stuck already for 3 months. And
That's insane.
and the true story, and no one in the
Traditional
banks,
banking.
no one in the bank knows where the money is. It's not clear. They don't know who the intermediaries were. And there's hard caps and banking hours. So what we created is the inevitable, just much faster, and that is open, verified. We've given power back to the owners. So you
Yes.
control your money. You are your own bank. And I originally got this idea from my neighbor who years and years ago said, I'm becoming my own bank. He's a farmer. And he was just telling me the horrors of trying to move money, get loans. And so him, along with a lot of these other farmers that live around me, they just created their own banks. What does that mean? They were the ones who decided on lending and when to send and when to move. And that's when I got the idea. I thought, wow, that's amazing. And if you put it on the blockchain, it would be faster, cheaper, more honest, more safe, and more transparent. And that's what this is. We're talking about instant transactions, being able to spend your money anywhere, being able to send it to whomever, whenever, whatever amount. I'm not exaggerating. It could be midnight and you could send it to Nigeria and the
Could
person
be a
gets it.
Sunday, it could be a Saturday,
Let's say
whatever.
Sunday, 2 in the morning. Someone calls your friend, your family friend Nigeria calls. We need £1,000 immediately. You could do it on the spot from your phone.
Right.
It sends it to
In
them,
2026.
and
I agree
within
with the term working day, but not in 2026 when it's digital.
and then within by the time you send click, and within 30 seconds the person in Nigeria has the money. Now, if you were someone who was in a traditional bank, you would have to wait for the bank to open up. Then they're going to flag you because you're sending it to Nigeria. Then you're going to have to source the money. Then they're going to charge you a conversion fee, a wire fee, a handling fee. And then the person receiving the money in Nigeria is charged a handling fee, a conversion fee, a reception fee. It's all nonsense. And then they have to show ID. What if the person receiving doesn't have a driver's license? What if they don't have a birth certificate? This solves all of that. So this is what we're transitioning to, and this is happening inevitably all over the world. We're going from a traditional finance to Web3, and so in our world, in our parallel universe, right? Normally, you would have a bank account. In our version, you have a wallet address. In your bank account, you have a savings account, a certificate of deposit, a checking account. And our system is called a smart contract staking account. You may have a debit card or a credit card, but it comes with limitations, right? 20% interest. You can only take out 600 a day, 1,200 a day. You can only spend 3,000 a month, blah, 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 blah. And if they don't like the transaction, like maybe you're buying something out of Egypt or out of Africa, like it's happened to me plenty of times, they'll just
Yeah.
stop the transaction. With our debit card, with our Visa debit card, which is already live and active, you can spend anywhere you want, any amount, at any time, on anything. You are in charge of your money. Here, and also in traditional finance, you have hedge fund advisors, you have trading analysts. I laugh at that already. As someone who's a professional trader and has traded large amounts of crypto, institutional grade types of trading, I will tell you, AI is better than any analytical trader out there right now. There's no AI that is lower than a trader. The things that an AI analyst can do now would take me days of research and reading, and I could still get it wrong. I still have emotions. Our AI marketplace doesn't have that. In the traditional world, you have a deed, right? You have gold. In our world, The deed is just a digital image. The gold is represented by a digital image. In fact, we are working with gold mines that they have gold in the ground. They're able to scan to see how much gold is in the ground, determine what the value of that is, and then they digitize it. And instead of spending millions of dollars getting the gold out of the ground, destroying the environment, and moving it to get it out, they simply digitize the gold that's in the ground and don't touch the earth at all. And that's considered the same thing as gold. And it's happening already all over exchanges. It's already happening. So this is our first product. We said we have 4 that are working in our ecosystem. The first one is we have a Visa debit card. The big thing about this is it is decentralized. One, there are 0 conversion fees. There are 0 spending limits. You can buy a house. You can buy a plane. I don't care. As long as you have the felt in there, you could do it. The other thing is our card is issued directly by Visa. We did not go to a third party and have them use their license. We are issued directly. The dunce number is issued to us directly, and we are globally recognized and reliable. The second marketplace is our AI marketplace. Trading, writing books, creating a social campaign, getting financial advice, getting legal advice, everything, friends. I'm telling you, it is being run now by AI. All we're doing is making a marketplace for you to use it. And access to this institutional grade AI only comes with the Felt token. You cannot access it any other way. Another one is real world assets. Like I said, our Felt token, our ecosystem, it is already digitizing real estate. We are digitizing commodities. We're providing fractional ownership, yield, and liquidity. We could tokenize anything. We could tokenize gold. We could tokenize your Rolex. I could tokenize a painting. It doesn't matter. A Bible, a Torah, I don't care. I can tokenize it, and it can't be forged. You know exactly who the owner is. This is happening already. And what I think is our flagship product right now is our staking. You would consider it, remember, if you're in a traditional banking system, you know it as savings or a certificate of deposit where you earn a yield. The only difference is we are able to provide a much higher yield. And in other videos that I've done, I talk about the true profits that banks make. Banks make 100% on your money easily every year, yet they only pay out 1%, 2%, and then they get that percentage back that they paid you through fees. We, because we're digital, because we don't have these large offices, large overhead, and because we are decentralized, we can provide the real returns. But here's what's different about us. In a typical savings account, certificate of deposit, hedge fund, investment, you give someone money, they take your money, and they invest it for you. And if it goes well, they take a percentage and you get a percentage. In our system, what we've done is we've said, what if we were able to take all the interest that we're going to pay on the next $90 million and set it aside? So there's nothing for us to do. The interest payments that we're paying, the 36% to 48%, they are already set aside in separate wallet addresses. And that, of course, can be viewed on the blockchain to verify. You'll see all the interest for this 180-day stake, the 360-day stake. It is all there, all verifiable. So when people ask, how can you maintain this? We already have it set aside. The interest that we're going to pay out is already there. And the system that we created really was modeled directly after Bitcoin. The purpose of Bitcoin was it came in 2008. And if you remember 2008, that's the great financial crisis, right? In 2007, Bear Stearns, Lehman Brothers, they all tanked. Institutions that were there for over 100 years suddenly became bankrupt, and we had just defaults happening everywhere, and it caused this giant crisis. And nobody was held accountable. One, people lost their retirements. Two, three, what the government and the banks did was they just started printing money to get themselves out of this jam, which lowered the value of the dollar. What we've done is we've printed a fixed supply of tokens of currency. We can never add to the currency. It's never going to be liquidated that way. If we need more, we can't just print more. We can't just create more. We have a fixed supply at 100 million felt tokens. No more can ever be minted. And we have a burn mechanism, meaning that every time someone uses our debit card, every time someone is using our utility, we take a percentage of the felt that is used and we burn it. What does that mean? We just get rid of it. It just gets destroyed. And so if there's less of something, it becomes more valuable. And uh, the typical example I use is if you had $10,000 in your bank account today, a year from now, it'll still be $10,000. The difference is that you can only buy 70% of what you bought last year. There's a 30% decrease in how much you can buy. In our system, if you have $10,000 in felt, the following year, you may still have $10,000 in felt, but the buying power has increased. It hasn't decreased. So we have enterprise grade security. We are on Certique. We are on CoinMarketCap, Dex Screener, Go Plus. These are the highest possible of security and audits that we have passed in our industry. Um, here's what's very, very powerful about Felt, Impera, and the Viltrixa ecosystem, and that is we are a true decentralized organization. There's no one person that can move money, that can liquidate, that can rug pull. There's not a group of people, it's not a small group of people. This is run by itself, right? It is run by itself by a machine. It is if this, then that happens. So if the conditions are met, actions are triggered and it's recorded. Everything is recorded. So this autonomous engine is what makes Felt Impera mathematically incapable of bias, fraud, or delay. And we just went through the last 2 weeks. We did a big test on withdrawals, on the debit cards. That's why.
This answers one of the questions in the chat. Someone asked there, what's going on with the token? This is exactly the answer, ladies and gentlemen.
So
We
let me
passed
show
a
you.
massive test. This is a massive stepping stone for
We
this
did a massive
ecosystem.
test the last 2 weeks. We did a stress test to see just how much pressure we could handle with the debit card, with transactions, with withdrawals. And what we did was over the last 2 weeks, and I'll show you the weekly candle. We passed this test here, and if you look on the daily, so this is all the tests. And then today, we passed with flying colors, and we just, covered 3 days of it. So the token is very, very healthy. The other thing is, it's not healthy for an asset, a utility token, a commodity to just go straight up. It's actually not healthy at all. It's really, really bad. So the token, in my opinion, we got a $90 million market cap. We check all the boxes for security. We just ran our tests. That is why the token is pumping. That is why it's pumping. because we just came through all the last 2 weeks, liquidity tests and withdrawals. We didn't lose a single withdrawal. Nothing was delayed. It was just amazing. And the other thing was we didn't have 100 people doing it. It was all done by itself.
That was the vision that we always wanted to make happen, and
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
like no one's
All these
behind
withdrawals.
There's nobody approving withdrawals.
That's why I said cheaper. That's why I said cheaper at the beginning, because a bank needs to have offices and people clicking on stuff and this and this and this and that. And here it was all done automatically, just like that.
Yeah.
Whether we approved it or didn't, it doesn't matter because it's on a smart contract, and
Yeah,
that is done on the blockchain.
that was the best part about it was when we were on centralized exchanges, we have hundreds of people that are working in the background, making sure everything's working well. Here, we had nobody. The smart contract ran itself, and there
Technology.
wasn't a single problem because there was no human
Because of
involved.
technology,
There was no human error. There was no, oh, I didn't see the message. Oh, I was tired. Oh, I was stuck in
I
traffic.
was sick.
Or I was angry at
I was on
you,
the
so I
phone
didn't
calling
do
with my
it, right?
mom.
None of that was there, and it just worked. It was awesome. I was so proud. So
Yes.
proud. So again, we are live, we are audited, we are transparent, 100,000 participants, 4 products that are working with the ecosystem. We have a lot of products that are still coming out. I'm not even going to talk about that. We have now it's a $90 million market cap. We are tier 1. We are on Binance, CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko. The system is not a roadmap. It is live. It is real, and it's scaling. So people who were on the call yesterday, right? So this is funny because people were on the call yesterday. I said we're done with the tests, and then boom! This morning, everybody starts loading up on tokens. Now, I love our leaders, right? But I don't know what happened. I think they said, "Oh, we're done with testing," and they went all in. So that's great.
That's the
Now is a good
community.
time
That's
to
how the
get in.
ecosystem moves.
Yeah, now is a good time to get in. Not because I'm giving you financial advice, but because the token is it's going to recover back to where it was, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure.
And we've got lots of people coming in.
We got a
So
lot of products coming in as well, and we had another question regarding the states. Well, we're going to be having debit card solutions for the states. Stay tuned, stay patient. I promise you, in the next month, we're going to have some very sweet updates. I'm not going to talk too much.
okay, so what we did for the leadership call yesterday was that we are now upgrading. We just, like I said, we finished 2 tests. One was a liquidity test, withdrawal test. One was a debit card test. We handed our debit cards out to our top leaders. We had them
Our
spend it.
pilot, yep.
We took it. We tried to break it. Like I just maxed all these credit cards. Just want to see if there was any limit. Like there was nothing I couldn't buy. I was so disappointed. I'm like, why won't it just say no? So what we took was we took all the information that we took from this test, and we are now upgrading to provide cashback rewards, loyalty rewards,
Yes.
more security. And so in 8 weeks, you're going to see the debit card it's going to be a massive rollout going on Google Play and iPhone, the App Store, iOS. And that's why I think the best thing to do if you want to get started is we have a link below. Aaron, can you send the link below? It's where you can
And make sure to reach out to the person who brought you here. Make sure to reach out to the person who shared this idea with you. Circle back to them, ask them the questions that you have. But it should be an easy, simple process because the idea is to just make it efficient, simple, easy.
So if you click the link below, if you're on a live call, you can hit the chat. If you're watching a recording, which most people will, then there's a link on learn more information or get started. Now, if someone invited you to this call, then you go back to them because they're a little bit ahead of you. They know how to get you started. They know they can walk you through the process. So if someone invited you here, go back to them and say, hey, I'd like to get started. You can get started with $100. They'll walk you through. If you need extra help, you go to our videos that show you exactly what to do. And if you want more information, you can click the link that says more information. It takes you to our landing page. where it gives you everything in more detail what I just presented to you. I am very, very happy about this product. I've been dreaming about this since 2019, and I've been working with the Felt Impera project. Well, it's been over a year. It's been 13 months that we went from the original phase to this decentralized phase. Thank you, everybody, for supporting us. Thank you for making this possible. Thank you for taking time to watch this. You could be out doing whatever you want to do. You chose to be here. I don't take it for granted, right? My time is very precious and valuable. Thank you for being here. God bless you, and we will see you next week.